traveling to consciousness, exploring spiritual journeys to find answers in uncertainty.
Because I do know that this conversation around attachment and around releasing attachment can be very tricky to navigate, especially if we're going to be talking about, well, you'll see what we're going to be talking about in it. But it can be tricky. It can be tricky to explain. So hopefully you guys will save up some good questions. Try to save them for the end because I'll scroll if I can, but everyone joining a lot, so attachment. And let me see how we can start this, because I think it's very important for us to release our attachment to things. And this even goes for ideas, and it goes for people. And I think the best analogy that I've ever heard regarding attachment is, imagine you have a soccer team. Okay? So let's assume, and I think that's probably the biggest sport that most of you guys can relate to, or you guys call it football. I'm not sure where you're coming from in the world. But you have your soccer team, you have your football team, and you basically say that this is my team. And there's levels to this, right? So the absolute lowest level is that you're willing to die for this team, that you're willing to kill people for this team. And there have been plenty of examples of this occurring in the world. Okay? For example, you can look up that there have been instances where referees have been killed for making a bad call. This is because the level of attachment that these fans have to this given soccer team is so deep that they will kill and release their own self-identity to blend with the identity of the team in order to kill someone. So now if we start to go up the ladder, you go up the ladder and maybe you're a fan who you buy their jerseys, you wear their stuff, you watch every game. And that's kind of your identification. Now, you allow the outcome of that game to dictate how the rest of your week goes. Maybe if they lose, you get angry, you're pissed off the rest of the week. You take a step back, they win, and then they win, and then the rest of your week is beautiful and happy. You have now created this conundrum where you have become interconnected with them, where your mood is solely based on how well that team does. So the next level of abstraction is maybe you watch every other game. Maybe you watch it every now and then. You wear the jersey. Maybe occasionally, if they do well, you feel some energy in your body, right? If they get a goal, you'll feel, yeah. If they get scored on, you'll feel down. But it won't affect your entire week. The next level is that you don't even identify with a team. You just show up for the sport. You just say, I'm here for a good sport. I like seeing a good competition. I like seeing people play at their best and just seeing how things play out. This essentially is the progression of releasing attachment. So if you're able to find this way, you will find freedom inside yourself. You'll find freedom inside your heart, inside your soul. And this will bring you peace. And by bringing you peace, it will transfer peace to the rest of the world. Now, here's where the parallel gets a little tricky. So if you have questions on this, save them. We'll talk about it at the end. When we're looking at these wars, evil is occurring. Don't get me wrong. Evil is definitely occurring, right? They're killing innocent people. They're destroying the entire civilizations, ethnic cleansing, whatever it is, right? Terrible stuff. Now, if you become so obsessed and ingrained with that evil and identifying with the people who are suffering, your energy will be drained and will be pulled down and will be sucked because of it. So think about this. You're watching all these terrible videos and you start to get angry. You get angry at the Israeli government. You get angry at the world, maybe it's United States, for committing evil atrocities. Completely justified. But what occurs is that you are now going to be programming the rest of your week, the rest of your day, to that frequency of anger. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So where the tricky thing comes in, and this is very difficult, especially whenever we're talking about human lives, innocent human lives. Are you able to detach from it, see what's going on, and not allow yourself to become angry because of it? And I'm telling you, this is very difficult, especially if you're a parent, especially if you live in Gaza or Palestine. I completely resonate and sympathize and empathize and realize that it's not easy to do that. Especially being someone looking in, wanting to create world peace. But what happens is if you're angry, if you're upset, and you start making decisions from that frequency, from that mood, from that energy, you will create more actions, and you will take actions that will create more anger, that will create more stress. So the art, and trust me, I still have to work on this myself, is when you feel that energy coming up inside you of anger, of stress, it's good to acknowledge it. It's good to notice it, but avoid taking actions on it. Ask yourself, what are you attached to? What is it that is creating that energetic grip and that hold? Because it will destroy you. Maybe a bomb didn't get dropped on you. Maybe a sniper didn't shoot you. But by holding on to that, your energy will still destroy. That energy will still destroy you. It will still pull at you. It'll still create issues in your life. Even though you didn't even go to Israel, you didn't go to Gaza, maybe you don't even know anybody who was affected personally by this. But that energy will sit inside you. You'll make decisions. Let's say you're in California, in America. You're in California, and yet the war still psychologically affects you, which means it affects your heart space. Which means if you start acting on that, you start speaking from that energy, you start thinking from that energy, it will affect all of California. Which means then that energy will spiral out, affect all of America, affect all of North America. And you have now been connected to that war. And you've created a psychological war within yourself and within your community. So where this becomes powerful, and again, I'm still working on this because it's not black or white. Be very aware of what's going on in the world. Be very aware of it. Have a plan to move forward. Have a plan to create a better future for yourself. Don't allow that energy to come into you. It almost becomes like a little bit of a play. The best way I have been described to this, and this is the best way my mentor has taught me, is see that anger energy as a child. That anger energy, imagine you're watching these clips from Gaza, and you're seeing kids crying, bloody, being carted away. See that energy as a little kid, the anger energy. And be like, wow, like, not here. No, it's okay. You want to be angry, go somewhere else. You're not going to be angry here. I'm watching to see what's going on in the world, and I'm going to make decisions so that I can make the world a better place. That's why I joined the American Congress Party. That's why I'm starting all these businesses. So in my life, I am making my life better so that I can influence the world. As you can see with my Instagram, right? All these people are becoming, you're coming to me, right? You're interested in my frequency, right? The energy that I'm putting off. Because I have gotten better at this ability to see what's going on in the world, but by remaining calm here. If I could snap my fingers and tomorrow there's peace in the entire world, I would. However, for some reason, whatever reason that is, I don't have that power. So the best thing I can do is whenever I see these atrocities occurring is staying calm. So that way, when I go throughout my day, I create more calmness so that that energy becomes infectious. Think about it in terms of viruses, right? COVID's a good example. Create the psychological COVID, which is calmness. The war, evil, bad, killing, murder, babies. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll worry about that later. We'll be calm now. Go be angry somewhere else, like a little child, right? You say, hey, go somewhere else. I'm not going to play with you right now. So that way you can be embodying the calmness, and you will see that your life becomes better. And when your life becomes better, the world will become better. And Aravida just put a comment here, which is a perfect timing for this, which is, you still think your leaders are morally capable of taking right decision? I don't know. The honest answer is I don't know. What I am advocating for is that you start making the right decision in your life. You start becoming the leader of your own life. And what will happen is you will become a leader of the people's lives around you, right? This entire Instagram is a perfect example of that. I started leading my own life, and Instagram calls them followers, right? We're at 25,000 followers on Instagram. So at some level, you see that what I'm saying resonates with you. You don't know what it is. You just kind of do it, right? You're like, okay, like he's saying something that I agree with, click follow, because I like these ideas. I want more of these ideas. So I want to align with them. So what I'm saying is it's irrelevant of whether or not our current leaders are able or unable. What I'm advocating for is for the common man, common woman, common child, for you to do this in your life, and then you will become the leader who can set this right in the world. We can set this right in the world. Because at some point in time, all of the current leaders are going to die, right? They'll all pass away. That's how life works. They're all extremely old, and at some point they will all die. Who's going to replace them? Somebody has to replace them. Is it going to be you? Maybe that's not your path, right? Maybe it's not your path to become the president of France or of Morocco. And honestly, I don't really 100% know all the intricacies of how their government is formed. So maybe it's not a president, maybe it's a prime minister, whatever it is. Maybe that's not your path. But maybe your path is to become the owner of a pizza shop. And in order for you to be the best owner of a pizza shop, you still need to embody these principles that I am articulating here now. Let's see, someone here, Shinote, you are talking about the monkey effect and Christ consciousness. I'm not sure what the monkey effect is. Do you mean the butterfly effect? But Christ consciousness, very similar. Pretty much the same thing, right? Second coming of Christ. Sometimes it's articulated, I think there's many different interpretations for it, but sometimes it's articulated exactly how you're saying, which is like the second coming of Christ is basically going to be a level of our consciousness increasing. And I completely agree with that. I think there's 100% truth to that. You said unity consciousness. Yes. That's exactly, Shinote, that's exactly what I'm talking about whenever we say, or whenever we talk about in biblical texts, talk about it. They call it the new age, the new heaven, the new earth. I know it's in Hindu scriptures. Hindus call it the Satya Yuga. I believe in the Quran, it's called Modi. But they pretty much all the texts talk about a new coming, a new earth, the second coming of Christ, whatever you want to articulate it. The Hindus call it Kalki's return of Kalki, the last incarnation of Vishnu. So they all agree that this is just the outcome. So with that in mind, here's where it gets interesting. With that in mind, that heaven, that earth, that peace, that the new heaven, the new earth, the new world is going to come, why not just start embodying that now? Why not just look at all of this as the progression to get there? See these wars as a test in your ability to stay calm. Because maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's your test in being able to stay calm in the craziest of situations and the most evil of situations. And I know that that can come across as difficult. And I'm not saying that that is easy by any stretch of the imagination. But anything that is easy is not worthwhile. Majority of the time. I'm sure there's exceptions. But majority of the time, if something is easy to do, sometimes it's not worth your time. But how could you not imagine that staying calm is one of the pinnacle achievements? Being patient is the pinnacle achievement. And even more so, right? All of these texts refer to new heaven, new earth, Modi, Satya Yuga, all this stuff as being in the future. What if instead we made it now? What if instead the idea of it being in the future is an illusion that's created maybe by evil for us to keep thinking, oh, one day, maybe in the future, maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe in years, when in the reality is you can create it right now. One way that you can look at heaven and hell is about the energies that you create within your body. Are you currently creating heaven in your body? Are you creating thoughts of beauty, of wealth, of prosperity, of enjoying the present moment? Or are you creating thoughts of anger, resentment, hatred, evil? That's another way we can look at heaven and hell. And new heaven, new earth. Don't create it in the future, create it now. The only way for the future to happen is from this present moment. There is no future without the present moment. And in fact, you never get to the future. Try to be in the future right now. Maybe your mind can go there, and that's fine, but your body will never be in the future. It's impossible for your body to be in the future. And it's impossible for your body to be in the past. So right now, in this present moment, start to create thoughts, feelings, emotions that create heaven in your body right now. Let's see. The Real Ghost said, what they also don't know about is here in the West Bank, many people got killed by their forces for just no reason. Yep. The Real Ghost also said, what many people around the world don't understand is not troll. I just using Hamas as an excuse to commit genocides and a massive, yeah. No, I think majority of the world does understand that. Yeah, the Real Ghost, I would say majority of the world understands that. It's just the media and the news and the media and our leaders don't want to acknowledge that because that's like the truth, and they would lose all public support for what they're doing. And at some level, they need public support in order to enact what they're doing. Otherwise, we would have a revolution overnight. So they have to convince the public that what they're doing is justified so that they can carry those things out. So that's kind of my overarching view of how do you articulate it? Why you need to release, why you should consider. You don't need to do anything. Don't let me tell you what to do. Why it could be very beneficial for your life to release attachment and enjoy the present moment. If you have any questions, please drop the comments right now. If you want to talk about something else, we can talk about something else. I'll be on here a little bit longer, as this is a recording for my podcast. If you didn't know, I have a podcast, Traveling to Consciousness. Woo-rah, brother. Woo-rah. Boss Don Big Galvez. Yeah, so it looks like there aren't too many questions. I appreciate you guys for popping in here. So with all that being said, I appreciate you all, and I will see you all in the 6th dimension.